Ask a school kid in the UK what they want to do when they grow up, and the chances are they'll say a footballer or a social media influencer. Some might even want to be the next Prime Minister, and most of them could probably do a better job, couldn't they, to be honest with you? But ask the equivalent child in Albania, and they'll more than likely draw you a picture of a boat heading for the UK. Because a leaked report to the Mail on Sunday from the Navy has revealed that 4 in 10 boat migrants crossing the Channel are from this small Balkan country. A country that, admittedly poor, hasn't had a war for 25 years. These mostly young men, let's be honest, they are, we've all seen the pictures, aren't fleeing a war, famine or torture like Afghanistan. In fact, they're not fleeing anything at all, are they? It's the clearest evidence yet that our asylum system is being used by economic migrants, migrants who mean that those genuinely seeking refuge on our shores are losing out. The report, understandably marked official and sensitive, shows that 1,075 Albanians crossed the Channel during a 6-week period this summer. That's almost 40% of the total number. To put this into context, during the same period there were 373 from Iran and 363 from Afghanistan. It's the first time an official report has exposed what is actually going on with the migration mess that has seen 18,000 people make the dangerous Channel crossing this year alone. And they're just the ones we know about. Talk to anyone who lives on the Kent coast and they'll all have tales of boats landing and the people in them just running off before even the officials can find them. This isn't just any old report either. It follows surveillance by the Royal Navy and Defence intelligence experts of 9 Albanian criminal gangs who charged their fellow countrymen £5,500 to be smuggled to the UK. They advertise their services on TikTok. You've just been hearing Darren talking about that one. And there are no shortage of takers. Indeed, they are so brazen about the whole thing that one boat of male Albanians unfurled their national flag while crossing the Channel and put the resulting video up on, yes, you've guessed it, TikTok. And like many of the dinghies organised by the criminal gangs, they set off from a sleepy beach resort in between Calais and Dunkirk, a beach that has become the epicentre for these smugglers. Not that the French appear to be aware of this, obviously, as despite the UK government, that's us by the way, handing them £114 million to stop this dangerous trade, officials are mostly conspicuous by their absence. Look, no one is pretending Albania is the land of milk and honey, but it is a member of NATO, has applied to join the EU and has a growing economy. Those crossing in the boats could simply apply for a 180-day visa to visit the UK. But why don't they? What are they hiding? What is their real agenda? Albanian criminal gangs are a growing menace in the UK, especially in the modern-day slave trade. There are so many questions we all deserve answers to. Even those well-intentioned voices on the left, you know, Archbishop of Canterbury, Gary Lineker, arguing that UK needs to accept everyone arriving in a dinghy from France, must surely be alarmed by this report today. Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss both vow to be tougher than one another on the Channel problem. But they would, wouldn't they? Meanwhile, Priti Patel's Rwanda plan is still caught up in a tangle of European Court of Human Rights legal arguments. The Mail on Sunday's article on this report highlights how the Albanian mafia are now widely recognised to be the most powerful criminal gang in the UK, controlling the cocaine and heroin trade. It's estimated they control more than 75% of the country's brothels, and in London, Soho alone, they earn more than £15 million a year from prostitution, many of those women trafficked. It's a mess that our political leaders need to prioritise. But if the figures are too much for you to get your head round on a sunny Sunday afternoon like this, just think of the beautiful face of Sabina Nessa. This vivacious young teacher had a whole life ahead of her, with all the hopes and dreams a 28-year-old should have. Instead, her life was brutally ended in a London park, murdered by an Albanian who arrived in a lorry illegally in 2015. This story isn't about the politics of Gary Lineker versus Nigel Farage. It's about lives. It's about saving them.